Before we start, a quick note. I am not an attorney and I'm not giving legal advice. This podcast simply shares real experiences, public documents, and the Florida statutes that affect residents living in mobile home parks. The goal of Silent Seniors No More is to help people understand what is happening in their communities and encourage them to ask questions. For legal advice, please always speak to a qualified attorney. Today's episode is different because today we're not talking about opinions. We're talking about a documented response from the office of Ron DeSantis and what that response reveals. I have contacted the governor's office regarding concerns under the Florida Statutes Chapter 723, the law that governs mobile home parks. That was clearly stated to them when I wrote to them. The response that I received, a referral to Chapter 83. Now, let's be precise. Chapter 83 applies to general landlord-tenant relationships. Chapter 723 applies to mobile home parks. So the response that I received was not just off topic, it was incorrect. This matters more than it might seem, because when someone takes the time to clearly identify the correct law, reach out to the highest office in the state, ask for accountability, and the response comes back wrong, that's not just an oversight, that's a failure to address the issue being raised. And here's where this connects to something bigger. This isn't the first time. Residents go to the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation. We don't enforce. We go to other agencies. That's not our department. We go to elected officials, contact someone else. And now, even the governor's office responds with the wrong statute. So we have to call this what it is, a pattern of redirection instead of resolution. At this point, the question is simple, and it has not been answered. Who enforces Chapter 723? Because right now, the experience for residents suggests no one clearly does. And when enforcement is unclear, accountability disappears. This isn't theological. This affects seniors, residents on fixed incomes, people who can't afford prolonged legal battles. They are told, hire an attorney. But when the issue affects the entire community, and when agencies acknowledge oversight but not enforcement, that leaves residents with limited options. So this is a direct and respectful message to the governor's office. Please review the response that was issued. Please acknowledge that Chapter 83 does not apply to this situation. And most importantly, please provide clarity on this question. Who is responsible for enforcing Chapter 723 when violations occur? Because residents are not asking for legal advice, they are asking for accountability. This situation now goes beyond one complaint, because there is a record showing the correct statute was identified, the concern was clearly raised, the response did not address it, and that matters, because records establish patterns, and patterns lead to scrutiny. If you're a resident listening to this, ask questions. If you've experienced something similar, document it. Because the more these experiences are connected, the clearer the pattern becomes. And if you're part of the media or public office, this is an opportunity to take a closer look. When the law exists, but enforcement is unclear, the burden does not disappear. It shifts onto the people. And that's where we are right now. But now it's being documented. And once it's documented, it becomes much harder to ignore. If you've experienced being redirected, dismissed, or given incorrect information, add your questions, observations, or concerns in the comments for me to review. because your voice matters. And the more we speak up, the harder it becomes to look the other way. Silent seniors no more.